AFTV, did it feel like a loss to you today?
Yeah, it did feel like a loss. Yeah, very much like a loss.
Is the manager tinkering too much with the team, or would you agree with what that guy was saying earlier? And Pep does it, other managers do it. Where do you stand on it?
Well, first of all, Arteta's not Pep. That's the first thing, right?
Don't mean he can't change his team.
Well, it doesn't mean he can't change the team, but you see what we did today. He got it wrong. I don't know what it is. Why? I mean, you can come. That brother who made all these points that you're talking about, right? Whole loads of theory. It's all over theory, right? Theory. You can bring theory all day long, right? Sometimes
I don't know about a whole lot of theory because a lot of what he was saying were factual. You know what I mean? He was talking about how Pep Guardiola has made a lot of changes. Like, for instance, we're all moaning about Gabriel not starting.
Right.
Last year, Carl Walker didn't start for a long time. And people thought, is there a problem there? Is it? But then he brought him in later on. So it's not theory, it's facts.
Some of it is factual, but what he's saying, or trying to say that Arteta is keeping he's giving all these different players games so that later on he may be called upon to bring them in later on in the season. No, this is not it at all. What's happening here that I see, this is what I see it as, I see it is that we bought Havertz, he's bought Havertz, right? He just wants to play this man. He's building, it seems, he's changed all these things around to try and fit Havertz in, okay? This is what it looks like to me, okay? And Havertz is not pulling his weight, he's not carrying it. And when people are talking about, Bayer Leverkusen, that's 4 years ago. This man has spent 3 years at Chelsea. 3, okay? So no one's going to...
3 games at Arsenal, and you're already ripping into him.
So do you... So
3 games, 3.
So you think this is... Because this... I've heard you saying it. Other people saying it. 3 games. So what? Are we a charity? Is it a charity? This club's a charity.
You've got to have a bit of patience. So
let's just give.
No, you've been off a player after 3 games then.
No, hold on.
You've got to have a bit of patience in football, haven't you?
What? Hold on a minute. You're talking about have a bit of patience, right? Declan Rice came to this club from a club that, if we look at it on paper, we're much better. He had horror players around him. He's come here, the players are better, and he hasn't needed any time. He has fitted right in as if he's been here the whole time.
Grealish at City, under the Pep that you're talking about. How did he get on in the first? How did he get on?
When they bought him for 100 million, which he was never worth 100 million.
How did he get on?
Hold on. Right. He didn't play him straight away. He was hopeless. He did not play him. He actually had him on the bench for nearly the whole season. £100 million player. So please, I don't want anyone to say to me, Pep, if he's following Pep, then really, on the evidence of these 3 games and the Charity Shield, but on the evidence of the 3 Prem games, Havertz supposed to be sitting on that bench. He's supposed to be sitting on that bench. This is not a charity. I'm sick of it. It's only 3 games. It's only 3 games. Listen, man, the last season we won all 9 of our first games. 9 of them in a row. Yeah? So I don't want to hear, it's 3 games, give him time, No, we ain't got time. All right? City ain't got no time to give. They're probably going to win their game again, and we're chasing them. Because as far as I'm concerned, all these other teams that we see in here, forget them. We are looking at City. We're looking at City, and we've got to beat City. All right?
Maybe we should be looking at Fulham as well. I mean, you know what I mean? Because you've got to beat what's in front of you. What about you with Havertz?
Okay, first of all, I would like to say shout out to my sister Gunas, to Essan and to Justin. Havertz, I think he needs to earn his place. Like anyone, you come into a new team, you need to earn your place. Let's not try and force him in. Because, it didn't work today. He was sluggish. He didn't run back.
He wasn't the only one who didn't perform today.
Okay, but you expect a little more from him because he's new, so you want him to get that extra fire in him. I just found he was sluggish. I found all of them were sluggish, but I think we need to put some respect on Nketiah, because he's been here for some years, but he's putting in the work, and you can see he's working on his hold-up game. I'm kind of disappointed that we are losing that partnership that Ben White and Saka had. I feel like somebody said before, we are taking a few steps back. It feels like when Arteta came in the first year and we didn't know what formation he was playing, it feels like that right now. And some bond that he had like with Gabriel and Saliba, or like I just said, White and Saka, we are losing them, and I don't know.
That was an experiment though, isn't it? When Ben White was at right back, because a lot of people were like, what's Ben White doing at right back? We buy a guy £50 million as a centre back. He played at right back. We gave that time, and it's worked, hasn't it?
Okay, but he's a defender. Partey is a midfielder. He's a midfielder, so I don't know what he's doing on that side. And like I said, we built a whole 2 years. It's been 2 years. Ben White and Saka overlapping and having that coverage. We can see that bits and pieces are missing from what we are used to, and we should just kick up from what we had last year.
Okay. Havertz.
Well, like you mentioned, 3 games in. Of course, we paid the big price for him, but you got to remember, 3 games in, it does take players time to adapt. At Chelsea, people don't understand. He wasn't just playing as a midfielder there. He was put up top half the time. So you got to understand, give him time. I've said to someone else, I'd give him a season and a half to see what he can bring to us. Yeah.
These fans ain't going to give it that long.
Because you know the reason why I'd do that, because at the end of the day, Havertz is adaptable in the way that he plays. Like you mentioned, Ben White. First game, Gary Neville, 50 mil on him. He's not good. He's not what kind of defender did you buy? But now look at Ben White, starting week in, week out. One of my favourite players. I can't go wrong with it. So if we're gonna thingy Havertz, and look at all the other players you mentioned, Grealish as well. So look at these type of players. Havertz, you got to remember, put some respect on his name. He scored a Champions League final goal. He won it for Chelsea.
He scored that for Chelsea, and I don't care about that. We want to know what he does for us.
But he's an Arsenal player now. One thing we got to respect that now Havertz is an Arsenal player, and Arsenal fans, we have to respect all our players. I don't think it's a good energy to be saying, oh, Havertz was a Chelsea. We forget that. Now he's our player. All we can do is back him and just hope for the best.
Havertz.
It's a difficult one, man, because I do feel for him. I feel that everyone getting onto him, but there were just
he's only played 3 games for the club. I know he weren't good today, right? There was one time today when he got the ball, it came to him, and you expect him to go forward and he passes it straight back. I was like, oh my God.
See, those are the moments for me that I think if he came from a lesser team, but Chelsea, let's face it, they've not been a small side. They had a bad season last season. I would expect him to have been able to bring a lot more. Like someone else has said, Rice has come from West Ham. They won a trophy last year, but we're basically fighting relegation, and he stepped in like he's just come from anywhere. Maybe it's the quality of the player, but I think for Kai Havertz, I think in time he will be a good player. He's not been bought to do the same thing that he was doing at Chelsea. I think it will take time.
Would you start him against United?
That's what I'm coming on to. I would just take him out now. Take him out. Keep doing whatever you're doing on the training ground and put someone else in there. Just put us back the way we're supposed to be with, the right whack that was connecting with Saka last season, Ben White.
Yep. We've got my friend Cam. How you doing, man? All the way from LA, right? Yeah. Havertz.
Look, I don't want to really get onto Havertz because everyone's getting onto him and stuff. The truth is, honestly, I would keep him on the bench. I feel like Havertz and Arteta's like the kind of guy that, it's like when you buy an expensive trainers like designer or something and you don't have nothing to match it, so you feel like you have to wear it still, even though it's clashing with I feel like that's the case of Havertz. He spent 65 million and he feels like he has to start him, and I'm saying, Khalas, don't think about it too much. Let him come off the bench and don't put that pressure on him. Look at Man City, they have world-class players on the bench. We can have them too.
Do you
is world-class even.
Do you also think that it's points dropped today?
Absolutely.
But are we panicking too much because we are chasing a team like City, and don't discount other teams around as well?
Unfortunately, I don't think it's panicking because we can't afford any slip-ups, especially when we're trying to challenge Man City. That's a team that's bordering perfection. If not, they are perfect. So we're going to have to match that. And what I saw that today, that was not good enough. That was absolutely not good enough, unfortunately.
Okay.
So my thought on Havertz, we should have started Emerald in midfield over Havertz. For the United game, we should start Ben White at right back, Saliba at centre back, Gabriel at centre back. We could put. I do think Yakub could play at left back. Zinchenko. We put Zinchenko at left back, and Thomas Partey in CDM. The Rice in left midfield, Odegaard in right midfield. right midfield, Saka at right wing, Martinelli at left wing, and Nketiah as a striker. Do you think he could try get a hat-trick against United? Like Liverpool beat them 7-0. Like we could try go to Liverpool performance.
Listen, man, that'd be happy days if we could get that. All right. Kai Havertz.
You see, with Kai Havertz, the first 3 league games, it's been below 7 out of 10 performances. Yes, I hear the Arsenal fans around me are criticising him based on these performances, and he deserves to be criticised based on these performances. Right, at Chelsea, he spent 3 years there. He didn't play in the position where he wanted to play, so he hasn't fulfilled his potential. However, I think if he gets 8, 9, 10 games, for Arsenal, and he's still putting in, below 7, 6 out of 10 performances, then he has to be dropped. Mikel Arteta has to understand that he has to drop certain players. I'm not scapegoating Kai Havertz as Eddie Nketiah. If he doesn't score on a consistent basis, which it won't be the case because I don't feel that he's an elite player, but I will give him praise. He's come on, he scored today. However, with Havertz, with Arteta, he has to understand that he's picking the best 11 for the sake of winning, and it's about winning. And if he does not get results and he does not succeed come the end of the season, he's going to be under pressure. And I'm not saying sack him, but the pressure will start to kick in, and that is because this sport is a result business industry, and if you're not getting the wins, the less that you get the wins, the more pressure kicks in. The more you get the wins, the more the pressure eases off, and he has to understand that he's got to pick the best 11 for the sake of the team doing well on that pitch, home and away.
I think Havertz hasn't proved himself. He was at Chelsea for three years, didn't do well. I think we should play Eddie Nketiah. He deserves a chance. Not just come on as a super sub. He scored a goal, and I don't think Arteta is giving him the chance. And Havertz, he's getting played because he paid 65 million for him. To be honest,
That's how you feel?
Yeah, we paid a lot of money for him. And then Arsenal, he keeps playing him, and there's other players that are playing better. So why isn't he not playing the other players? And the biggest thing is, he's playing a lot of players out of position. And it's not working. And when we should be beating Fulham at home. We've got the home advantage.
Yeah.
And today, for me, it was a loss because it was like we just scraped through. To be honest, we should be all over this team. No disrespect to Fulham, but Arsenal last season were challenged for the title. Gabriel, why is he not playing Gabriel? Is he going to sell him, or is not trying to save him to rest him? He's not saving him to rest him, to be honest.
So, all right, Havertz.
I think there's a bit of an overreaction on him because, first of all, he's got to shake off the cobwebs. He's been at Chelsea for 3 years, like people are saying, and he's got to learn the way that Arsenal play. He's got to get used to the team, and I think that's why he's playing these games, because if he doesn't play, how's he ever going to learn how to play for Arsenal? You know what I mean? So, and I think it's more than that.
It's not school here, though. I mean,
it's not, but I think Arteta makes it that way. Arteta makes it that way, definitely, because of the way that he's so particular with certain things. So Havertz is going to have to learn a lot. Rice said it as well. He's learning a lot while he's here, so it's going to be the same for Havertz, and it's going to take some time for him to hit the ground running. But I think the team, you can't legislate for those 2 mistakes today. So I don't think Havertz should be the one that you're really looking at. It should be more the whole team, because if you don't make those 2 mistakes, we win that game no matter who plays. So I think, simple.
Thank you.
All I want to say is next week, United, I still got to pay from the 8-2 in it, so I need to see a big scoreline in it. You know what I mean? That still hurts in it. You know what I mean? But Havertz, to be honest, off the bench, he sits right in it. Come off the bench is alright, but starting, to be honest with you, the injuries are going to cost us this. It's going to cost us a lot, man. I think we're in danger, man. Just finishing 4th and just back to usual.
All right, well, listen, some of these fans, man, I mean, that's a bit doom and gloom. No, chill out with that, man. Listen.
Sometimes, you know what I mean?
What's Havertz's best position?
What's Havertz's best position?
He's put you on the spot there, Rob.
Do you know what? I'm be honest with you. I really don't know. I think if I'm playing him in that position where he's now, the number 8 position. And obviously he's a versatile player. You can play him as a striker as well if need be. But that's the thing.
But do you think he's playing well enough, though?
No, I think starting in that position right now for me should be Declan Rice.
Yeah.
All right?
Exactly.
All right, let me get a final word from this guy here. Final word from him. All right? Oh, you're going to bring in a player rating? All right, we'll save it to a player rating. Thank you very much.